Hey guys, welcome to Yesterday's Coffee, the podcast where we chat about fitness, nutrition, and business all over coffee that may or may not have been brewed yesterday. Today we are switching things up a bit.
We're going to play a game.
And we're going to rapid fire questions with common nutrition questions that we hear on a weekly basis.
Common questions, common myths,
common
topics.
We've put them all into a bowl on the table if you're watching us on the video.
That Kyle would not let me get rid of because he likes it so much.
It came free with a bunch of bowls that she bought.
First of all,
ugly. You bought this.
I didn't buy it. I paid for 2 other bowls, and she included this one because she didn't even want it. She threw it in for free, and I said, Kyle, why did you take it from her?
She bought it, and she made me pick them all up, and then she was mad that I got a bonus bowl. Regardless.
So now we have this ugly bowl. Anyway, it's good for something.
So you want to do the honors?
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and get started. So, is dairy bad for you?
If you can digest it, no. If you don't have any issues digesting dairy, and by that I mean you drink milk or you eat yogurt or you eat cheese and it doesn't make you feel bad, absolutely not. It can very easily be fit into your day.
Agreed. I would say that dairy is one of the most inflammatory foods out there, so a lot of people do react to it, and it's not always digestive symptoms. But if you don't find yourself having any symptoms, or you've had a food sensitivity test done and you aren't sensitive to dairy, then eat cheese.
Yeah.
Then just go ahead and do it. But it is very common, so something to explore. Go ahead.
My turn.
Okay, sorry. I'm too excited.
How much water should I drink in a day?
So you should be consuming half your body weight in fluid ounces every single day. I would argue that that's also still on the low side for some people.
Yeah, I'd consider that a minimum.
Yeah, I would say a minimum. So I would say starting with half your body weight in fluid ounces and more for high intensity exercise.
Yep,
or
absolutely.
Long periods of exercise, about 12 to 24 ounces extra for every hour of intense activity. That's about it. How long will it take to get abs? If you watched our belly fat video, you should know the answer to this question.
How long will it take to get abs? Well, it depends on where you're starting.
100%.
And that really is about all I can say, because if you've got 100
there are
pounds
so many
to lose,
factors.
That's a long time. But be
realistic. It's probably not going to be by the time you want it to be.
So
let's just be honest.
A better answer would be, if you've never done it before, you'll be really shocked as to how low in body weight you have to get. So while that's not really a time frame, more of a mental thing is thinking if I lose 10, 15 pounds, then I'll have a
abs.
6-pack. If you've never done it before,
it takes a long time.
I would probably double the number in your head at least, and then that might be more of a ballpark of what you're thinking.
Yes. So it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Should I drink celery juice?
You shouldn't go out of your way to spend outrageous amounts of money and time making your own celery juice at home, unless you really love the taste of it.
So is celery juice just celery in water?
You don't know what this is?
I don't get this question.
Oh, but have you not been on social media?
No, I don't.
This is the craze right now.
So what's celery juice?
You just take a bunch of celery in water and you put it in a blender and you drink it.
You want to know what's way better than that? Just water.
It's a celery smoothie, basically. A lot of people will say that it cures IBS and it helps with digestive issues and it helps with skin health and hair health and all of these things, gives you a glowing complexion. Celery is very, very, very high in water content. So it's water with a little bit of vitamins, but you are fine drinking water. And in terms of gut health, the high fiber...
That's
Kyle's so in shock. The high fiber can actually increase digestive symptoms, so it's not the holy grail for really anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you believed any of that.
No, that's the really big thing right now.
Yeah, you might be beyond help if you're going the celery juice route.
Yeah, again. But if it's going to help you get water, whatever, I guess drink it.
Just drink water, for God's sake.
If it's a flavor that you enjoy. Anyway, how often can I have dessert? Depends on how quickly you want to get to your goals, and
it depends on who you are. So, if you're somebody that's got a bunch of weight to lose and you've got this big weight loss goal, then eating dessert every night is not in your best interest. If you are a incredibly athletic person that's already as lean as they want to be, then holding on to those maintenance levels and doing incredibly intense exercise gives you a lot more freedom with that.
Exactly.
So it's really not terribly crazy for an athlete to be able to eat a dessert every single day because they are absolutely crushing themselves in the gym. But if you've got this big weight loss goal, I would say maybe once a week.
Yeah. I would say also, if avoiding desserts, if you're like the one piece of chocolate after dinner kind of person every night, I don't know that I would specifically count that as being a full-on dessert.
Yeah, that's a little different.
And you have to kind of make that decision between, is taking this thing away going to make me feel super deprived, and then I'm going to eventually binge on it. If that's the answer, then maybe a little bit more frequently. But if you're the person who's going to be triggered, if you have one piece, to have like the whole bag or the whole cake or the whole pan of brownies, then that's where you would want to put some limitations on it.
Absolutely. How do you use BCAAs, branched chain amino acids?
Yeah.
So,
common question.
I love using these. Really, I mean, you can drink BCAAs at any point. The best time that I think to use them is actually during your workout. So this is something that can help with the recovery process right away. So I like to use the metaphor of digging a hole. So if you're working out, you're basically digging a hole, and then your recovery is trying to fill that hole back in with nutrients. Mm-hmm. If we're using branched chain amino acids and drinking those during your workout, then that same intensity of exercise, your hole is going to be a lot less deep. It's going to be shallower.
A lot more shallow.
Yeah. So it's going to take less to recover from.
Yeah. The BCAAs are helping protect more of your lean muscle tissue while you're working out, right?
Yep.
So I think that these are the most effective when people are in a fat loss phase, but can be appropriate literally anytime.
Yeah.
You can take them anytime, pre-workout, during your workout, post-workout. Any of those things work.
Yeah, they're really advantageous.
Yeah, there's really no ideal time to take them, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they're great.
Like no ideal time? Just whenever you want?
Intra-workout, I would say, is ideal.
Okay. Should I work out every day? Short answer, no, probably not. If you're working out with enough intensity to make changes to your body, you're probably going to need a rest day or two. Mm-hmm. But also the recovery portion, which we talk about a lot, is very important for, honestly, any of your goals.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to your nervous system. If you're going to burn out your nervous system, your body's not going to respond to anything that you do. And you cannot see positive changes in it, like an overtrained muscle.
Right. I would argue that if you're training every single day, then you're not training hard enough. Mm-hmm. At least one day off a week. Like, yeah, you can get away with a 6-day split. And sure, there are ways that you can structure your workouts to make 7 days possible.
I mean, if you're like an office workout person, like if you're going during your lunch break and you're doing like 15 or 20 minutes just to get something in, maybe 7 days a week would be appropriate.
So I think it's important to distinguish the difference between training 7 days a week and getting some sort of movement in 7 days a week. True. So yeah, you can absolutely go on a walk 7 days a week. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're not saying you need to spend like one whole day hibernating.
Right. Yeah. You can absolutely move, but it's one of those things where if you're actually training and pushing yourself to the limit, you're going to need some recovery days in there. Long story short.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Is it? I couldn't keep track. Do you have to cut carbs to lose weight?
No, you don't. You don't have to give up carbs and bread and all the things that are good.
Yeah, so you don't.
That's a really short answer.
Now, it's definitely more complex than that because cutting carbs is a great way to remove calories from your diet in order to lose weight.
Sure. But and they do follow activity levels. So if your activity level is lower, you potentially don't need as many carbs as you might be consuming. Mm-hmm. But you do not have to go zero carbs. You do not have to try a keto diet. You don't have to try a low-carb diet. There are ways to eat carbs and still lose weight.
Right. So your carbs are one of 3 macronutrients, and it's all about creating a caloric deficit. So while it's definitely advantageous to begin keeping track of your carbs, monitoring them, and then limiting where it makes sense, you can also create a caloric deficit by dropping your fat. I mean, you could drop your protein, not that I would recommend it, or you can just move more, burn more calories that way. So there's a number of different ways to go about doing it. You're going to see people that have lost weight on low-fat, high-carb diets. and on low-carb, high-fat diets.
Well, different body types and different genetics also determine how well your body uses carbs, proteins, and fats.
Absolutely.
So that can also determine if you're going to respond better to low, moderate, or high-carb diet.
Yeah.
But short answer, you don't have to give them up. I promise. You're going to be okay. Should I eat candy during my workout? This is probably a better answer for you because I don't really know that much about intra-workout.
Should you eat candy during your workout?
I personally don't recommend to people. Like, I've gotten this question just from, like, bros at the gym who are like, oh, yeah, like, I was told, like, somebody told me I should just be eating gummy worms during my workout, and, like, that's going to make me big, and, like,
so, I don't
know. That's...
Intra-workout nutrition is, first of all, something that only people that are training really, really hard ever even need to broach this subject. The entry level to intra-workout, so nutrition during your training, would be branched-chain amino acids. They don't really have any extra calories except for a few trace ones here or there, and they basically cover your bases. Now, if you're somebody that's more advanced, you can get into more carb-based intra-workout drinks, and so that's where, if we're talking about like HBCDs, so highly branched cyclic dextrins, a really popular one. Some people just try to throw in dextrose, which is basically what Gatorade is.
Or just eat straight up candy.
Yeah, or just eat candy, apparently.
Or Pop-Tarts.
I would not recommend that. So you're going to have, especially with an actual solid food, even if it's a fast digesting thing, I wouldn't be trying to eat a physical food during your workout.
When you're trying to shunt blood to the muscles, if you put something in your stomach that requires, anything physical food that you put in your stomach is going to require more energy to digest and break down. Mm-hmm. So even, like Kyle said, even if it's something that's fast digesting, like a gummy worm is still a solid piece of food.
Right.
And that is effectively taking some energy away from your muscles in your workout.
Yeah, not to drag this answer out, but if you are looking for intra-workout calories, I would go the route of highly branched cyclic dextrins. Look that up. Are diet sodas healthy?
Short answer, are they healthy? No. Can you drink them and still lose weight? Yes. I personally don't think that they're super healthy. Kyle probably doesn't agree with me. There have been recent studies that have shown that people who drink diet sodas or sodas with artificial sweeteners regularly, that it can change the breakdown of their gut bacteria. Mm-hmm. In a negative way. So we know, especially right now, since the gut is a hot topic, that we don't want to mess with it in a negative way. We want to keep it healthy and thriving and doing what it does because it does a lot of work for our body. But I think the jury's still out on how much diet soda or artificial sweeteners can actually impact it. I don't know. What's your answer?
My answer is a lot simpler.
Yeah.
It's fine with the caveat of as long as you're drinking enough water. So as long as you're hydrated and your nutrition is proper, throwing a diet soda in there is totally fine with me. Where it becomes a problem is if that is your fluid consumption for the day.
Yeah. If you're drinking liters and liters and liters. Because even if you're drinking lots of water, if you're still drinking like a 2 liter of diet soda every day, that's probably not healthy.
Yeah, but if you're drinking enough water...
Can you admit that?
Sure. But if you're drinking enough water, it's probably going to be difficult to find time to drink a full 2 liter every single day.
Kyle, you would be so surprised.
I'm just saying.
You probably don't see as many of those people as I do, but there have been a lot of interesting...
If you're hydrated and you've got your nutrition
drinkers
down, don't worry about it. You're up.
Okay. What is the best rep range to build muscle?
Short answer, 8 to 12. Another way to think about it is in the 30 to 60 second duration time under tension. So a set spanning 30 to 60 seconds. But yeah, 8 to 12 is a super easy way to think about it.
Isn't there a lot of stuff coming out that like disproves a lot of the preset rep ranges?
Yeah, there's way more to it than that.
Like you can build muscle technically in any rep range.
Yeah. You've got like blood flow restriction training, which is shifting things to much higher rep, more pump-based work. You can obviously build muscle in the lower rep ranges where you're more strength focused. So it's not like if you're not doing 8 to 12 reps, you're not building muscle. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
it's more about intensity.
Decent rule of thumb, 8 to 12 reps has served a lot of people really well. Some muscles respond to higher reps, so upwards of 20, maybe even 30. And some are lower on the spectrum. It's actually more individualized per muscle group. And I can't remember the chart off the top of my head, but who did it? I can't even think of who wrote the chart, but if I remember it, I'll link it.
Okay. I just know that I think intensity is the most important factor, right? Like you said, time under tension is what matters when it really comes down to it over just like an arbitrary number of reps. Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is like, okay, you could say 8 to 10 reps, but like if you could have gone more, if you could have done more reps, like then that's not really an accurate measure.
Right, and so that's assuming that you're taking those pretty close to the limit.
Yeah.
Like not just doing 8 reps,
again,
but you
so
had
it's not
20
necessarily about how many reps, it's more of like the measure of intensity.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's an element to that.
Yeah.
How much protein do I need in a day?
About 1 gram per pound of lean body mass is the most specific, but you can just go based on body weight or ideal body weight to keep it simple.
Yeah. Simple as it gets is 1 gram per pound.
Yeah. Should I avoid sodium? Short answer, no.
No.
Your body actually needs sodium, and in a day and age where we are all so chronically stressed out and our adrenal glands, which regulate sodium and fluid status and hydration levels, when we're under all of this stress, our body is actually not as able to balance its own fluid and electrolytes, and you might actually need more sodium.
Especially if you're working out.
Yeah, especially if you're working out. So if you're working out, like all of those muscle contractions require sodium.
Yeah.
They require electrolytes.
Don't be afraid of
sodium.
sodium.
If you sweat, you lose sodium in your sweat. So if you work out, you actually might need to be supplementing with sodium. And if you're chronically stressed, you also might need some extra sodium.
Just salt your eggs. That's sodium supplementation.
Again, people are so afraid. But the problem is not usually, and I shouldn't say this about everything because if your diet is just highly processed foods, then yes, you're probably getting too much sodium.
Right.
But usually with people who eat like decently healthy who are worried about sodium, your problem's not sodium. Your problem's probably potassium. Potassium is needed to balance sodium out. So more fruits and veggies.
And I've honestly never run into a single person that was worrying about sodium that had a good enough diet to worry about sodium, if that makes sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I think I run into that. I think I run into that with like the chronic dieters who like their diet is mostly vegetables and like not a lot of other things.
Well, right.
And they end up like
they have other bigger issues with their diet.
Well, sure, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Bigger issues, but yeah, like trying to micromanage sodium.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely doesn't matter unless you have a health condition that requires you to specifically look at it. But yeah, I would agree with you. Wait, it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm up. Do I have to count calories?
No, I don't think you do. I don't think you have to. I think that it's a tool. It's just one of the many tools that we have that can give you a solid foundation. The problem is that nobody is aware and nobody knows what is in their food. Mm-hmm. And so if counting calories is a way that we can educate you on what you're actually putting in your body versus what your body needs, then that might be a good idea. But if you're somebody who doesn't respond well to looking at numbers or calories, then it might not be a good option.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally possible to never look at a calorie.
I would say
and make progress.
If you want to have abs, you need to count calories at some point. If you want to be healthy, you probably don't need to count calories.
Sure. You can very easily structure a nutrition plan without ever looking at calories if the person putting the plan together knows what they're doing and be perfectly fine. But at the same time, if you have a really big body composition goal and you're trying to look a certain way, then counting your calories and more specifically counting your macros is the best and most important thing that you can be doing. It'd be like trying to build up your savings account without knowing how much money you make and how much money you spend. It's
definitely.
it's the exact same thing.
It's all about the level of detail. If you have very detailed, specific goals, then you need to have a detailed, specific approach.
Yes.
If your goals are just to be healthier or to have more energy or to get better sleep, you might not need to count specific individual macros or calories. But again, it comes down to what your goal actually is.
Well, and it also is determined by how flexible you want to be able to be with your diet. So
True.
if you don't want to look at calories, then you're going to have to stick to a lot cleaner foods to be safer a lot of the time. Whereas if you understand the fundamentals of balancing your macros through the day, you can fit just about any food at any time into your diet.
That's true. It does give you some more freedom to work with.
So it's one of those things where, yeah, it's more work up front, but it's also way more flexibility.
Definitely. But it's just, I don't think it's something that you should be doing long term for the rest of your life.
No, but you structure an initial plan around it.
It builds a solid foundation.
And use that as your framework.
Yeah, to educate yourself. What if someone judges me on my eating choices? I don't know if you get this question. I get this question a lot.
No, I just got it the other day.
Oh, yeah.
It's not your responsibility to worry about other people's feelings in relation to your diet.
Well, it's kind of like, what right are you giving those people over your own health? Like, are you deciding that their opinion is more important than you feeling good?
Their feelings are more important than your health or your progress.
Yeah, or what they think of you is more important than how you feel on a daily basis. I think you have to weigh that out. Like, why does Kyle get to be in charge of my confidence and my health and the way my body looks? Like, he shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think anyone out there would argue. So why do you give that same power to your boss or your coworkers or your aunts
people you don't even
or your cousins?
With,
These people, like, this is my boyfriend, and like, he doesn't get to control that about me. So like, why should these people that don't really even know you have a say?
Yeah.
I think it should just be that simple.
Right.
And I get feeling guilty and I get feeling embarrassed or feeling self-conscious. But if you are confident about the choices that you're making to improve your health, then you should keep that confidence and you should just tell people the way it is. Like, this is what I'm doing because it makes me feel good and because I want to. And then once you stick to it, that's the important thing. Don't let them get you off track, because then if you stick to it and you get results, guaranteed they'll shut up. They'll never say anything to you again.
Yeah.
When you come to the family reunion looking amazing, nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah, why aren't you eating all this
They'll be asking you what you did to lose the weight, okay?
Yeah.
So keep it in mind, okay?
I think we got time for a couple more.
Yeah, we'll just do.
Do I need a detox? This is funny.
Oh! I was wondering if this one was going to come up.
So we're shooting this while Alexa is, beginning of week 2 of her own detox.
I'm the beginning of week 2 of my own detox. Don't do this unless you have to. That is my one piece of advice. Yeah. Don't do this just because you want to be healthy. Don't do this because you want to lose weight. Like, unless you specifically have a condition or a problem that you're trying to fix, do not detox.
Detox isn't a weight loss tool or a diet.
It shouldn't be a weight loss tool. Like, it shouldn't be a diet. Yeah. I'm on very, very, very low calories and I feel very miserable right now. But it's all for a good reason. If this was just for health or just for weight loss, I would have given up by now.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. So
if you're detoxing, there's a specific reason for it. Yeah.
Just to be healthy. You don't have to detox to lose weight. I think toxin load is a problem that more people struggle with than we realize. But it's not something that you just like casually decide to sign up for. Yeah. Okay? Think this through.
A real detox is pretty intense stuff.
It's intense. It's not been fun.
All right, let's do one more.
Okay. Last one. White rice versus brown rice. You like to talk about this.
White rice. And so the reason I say that is because glycemic index-wise, they're honestly not that different. And
that's not true. But
that is pretty true.
That's not true.
Because so what I mean by that is,
if you're talking instant brown rice, then sure. But if you're talking long grain brown rice or wild rice, that's different.
Well, so what I mean by that is you're not typically eating these by themselves.
Well, sure.
You're typically eating it with a meal. So the glycemic load of the meal is going to be pretty similar.
Fair.
And so we're going to axe that right away. One of the downsides of brown rice that not a lot of people know about, I can't remember the term for it, but it has a, what is that called, where it impairs nutrient absorption?
What do you mean? It impairs nutrient absorption.
I can't remember the
specific
term,
compound?
but it keeps your body from being able to digest protein completely. So there is, I'm so
Is it a
so
specific
blanking
chemical compound?
Yeah, it's what makes the brownness of the rice brown.
I mean, that's the bran of the rice.
Yeah, it's
phytic acid.
Yeah, phytic acid, exactly. Okay. So that actually inhibits protein digestion.
I need to see the science on this because you've told me this a lot of times, and I've never read any research on it, and I don't know.
It's completely true.
I believe it.
No, it's completely true. So phytic acid is actually an anti-nutrient. That's what it's called.
It does impair the absorption of a lot of vitamins and minerals, but I've never heard it being...
Yes. And it impairs
I've never heard that.
Protein digestion.
Besides from you.
So whereas with white rice, you're going to get a great glucose load. You're going to replenish glycogen stores. You're not going to have any of the downsides of brown rice, and it's super easy to digest. You're not going to have any sort of issues that the that bran part is going to carry with it.
Okay, stop hating on the brown rice really quick here. Okay, so I love white rice also. I love white rice. I would kill for some white rice right now, but...
She's fasting.
I'm fasting today. Anyway, but brown rice does have more nutrients. You cannot argue with that. It has fiber, which a lot of people do not get nearly enough of. And fiber feeds our good gut bacteria, which, they're so important. You need to feed them. They need to eat good food. You need fiber in your life.
That's fair.
Okay? You need to have fiber.
That's
and
fair.
If you're unable to get enough fiber from vegetables or from your other carb sources, then brown rice might be the best option because the couple of grams of protein you might lose out isn't necessarily worth...
It's more significant than
worse gut bacteria. But it's not that significant.
I think it could be upwards of 20%.
I'd
have to look it up again.
Again, I've never seen the research. I don't know.
I
could be wrong. Kyle could be wrong. Who knows who's wrong?
But it is.
But still, but even at 20%, again, you need to take care of your gut bacteria, and if you're not, that is going to be more important because protein also is more strenuous for the body to digest and absorb. So if you're damaging your gut bacteria by not feeding it with fiber and nutrients, and then you're also throwing a lot of stuff at it that's tougher to digest and absorb, you're potentially creating an environment that is not great.
But the distinction
for
there
your
is
gut
that
health.
By changing from brown rice to white rice, you're not inducing these things. You're just not getting the fiber.
No, but what I'm saying is most people aren't getting the fiber.
Yeah.
Most people aren't.
But you
get more B vitamins, you get more fiber.
You have to eat a lot of brown rice to get that much fiber, though.
Brown rice is a good amount of fiber. I guess I'm also thinking more of brown rice on the, again, long grain wild side. If you're choosing between white instant rice and brown instant rice, they're exactly the same. You don't get any benefits from brown instant rice. Yeah, but that's not what I was talking about. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
wild grain,
if you're boiling something on the stove and you're not throwing it in the microwave, then there are more health benefits potentially. If you're just looking to build big muscles, maybe you don't have to worry about it.
White rice is great. Eat it.
I eat it too. I'm just saying you can't just tell them all these bad things about brown rice when there are a lot of good things about it.
So brown rice isn't bad. If you want to eat your brown rice, you're more than welcome to. Millions of people do it.
And if your fiber intake sucks like most people, maybe you should eat it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe sub out one serving. Can we go halvesies?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If you like white rice, eat white rice. If you like brown rice, eat brown rice.
I mean, that's fair. But make sure you get your fiber and you feed your good gut bacteria.
So thank you guys for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed the rapid fire questions. We've got more.
Yeah. We'll save these for next time.
Do this again. So if you have any questions that you'd like to contribute to the pile, feel free to message either of us. You can find me at HypertroFit.com. You can find Alexa at TheRootedRD.com. And we will see you guys again next week.
We'll see you guys next week.